Good morning. My name is Frank Iliff, and I represent a group called Rebuilding Together Muscatine County. We've been in business, been operating it since 2007, after I'd gone through a leadership Muscatine class offered to me through Monsanto. In Monsanto, I'd already put a group of people together, and we had rebuilt 2 homes down in the South End. We'd replaced the porch for Mr. Warren Clark. And then up on Mulberry, we replaced the roof on our house that the city had already told this man that he had to do something with this roof. And so we came in and fixed it for no cost to them. Through that group in Muscatine, through Monsanto, Leadership Muscatine, I got Rebuilding Together started, contacted Washington, D.C., told them that this is what I would like to do, and I went through the whole process. It's a big, intricate, detailed 4-step process to figure out what we're doing and find out how to go about doing it. The mission of the organization is repairing homes, revitalizing communities, and rebuilding lives. And that's what we do. We go into a home, a situation where the people are pretty bad off. They spend all their money perhaps on medicine or high medical bills or anything else, and they can't afford to repair their homes. So Rebuilding Together comes in through no cost to the homeowner. We work with elderly, the disabled people, veterans, and families with small children because they are the most vulnerable in our society. We go in and we do what it takes. We inspect their home and we make it safe, we make it warm, and we make it independent so that they can live there safely in their own home. We have replaced furnaces. We've replaced up to 19 windows in one house. We put in a lot of ramps simply because people can't get out of their home down the steps to get to their vehicle to go about their business. So we put in a ramp so they can take a wheelchair or a walker or a cane, and sometimes they're still walking, but they just need help. And so we put a ramp in for them. The largest one to date, we put one out in Wilton, was 87 feet. That's our record, and that's the largest that anyone has ever heard of. That's quite a ramp. But we go into people's homes and we change their lives in a very positive way. Our vision statement says safe homes and communities for everyone. And we concentrate and we stress the safety. We want to keep people safe. We want to keep them in their homes. Our first 2 projects, both ladies named Dorothy in 2007, we replaced 24 foot of sidewalk at the one lady's house and tore out a 100-year-old rose bush that her father had planted. She was 78 years old and had never lived anywhere else, wasn't married, and had lived in this house since she was born. The other lady, 90 years old, we removed 20 yards of stuff in her yard, an old bathtub. We tore it out. We replaced the kitchen cabinets. The house captain was started on the project, and there was a bunch of thrashing and hammering, and he says, "Gotcha!" And he came walking out with a possum by the tail. And she said, "I wondered what that noise had been." Well, there's a possum had built a nest underneath her kitchen cabinet. Could have been a bad situation. We replaced the back porch for her because she couldn't get safely from her kitchen door out to the back door. And the back door had about 1.5 feet missing from the bottom of it, so we replaced that door. We made that porch safe for her to get around on. We painted her bedroom hot pink because that's what she wanted. And but we removed the vanity and replaced that, and just all kinds of things. We've gone into people's homes where the lady was afraid to cook because the floor in front of the stove was soft. Well, I went over to it and I thought for a little bit I would probably fall through. So we moved the refrigerator and the stove out and went in and tore the floor apart. And the home did not start as a house, its life. It started as some kind of a shed, a garage, we're not sure. But we went in and dug it down, put in 2x12 joists underneath it and made it so that it was safe. Came back in with a 3/4 inch plywood and then vinyl flooring on top of that, just to make it safe. We put everything back together. Of course, new countertops, kitchen sink, faucet. And that's what we do. We go into people's homes and we make them safer. We have painted living rooms, we painted kitchens, we painted back porches, we painted entire houses. We painted 2 in one day. We had 35 people on one house, and I don't know how many were on the other. At the one, we asked when we left, this guy, big old bear of a man, he was a Korean War veteran, and he just gave me a hug, and he starts crying and sobbing. And I said, you know, why are you crying? He said, my house is painted. What? We painted the house of a Korean War veteran and his wife. We put handrails on their front porch, put flowers in the yard. We like to plant annual flowers because they bloom right away, and then we plant a perennial, such as peon. I call them peonies. So they bloom every year, and the people remember that we were there. They remember a day that strangers came into their home, and they made it better. No matter what it was we did, they would remember us and how we helped them out. I can go on. We've had about 120 projects here in Muscatine County. I can tell you stories. I can tell you about a weatherization project that we started on, and then about a month out, I found out that we needed to put in 4 ramps. We put in a ramp from the garage down to the ground, widened the sidewalk, put a ramp up to the porch. We put a wedge from the porch up into the mudroom, from the mudroom on up into the kitchen with another wedge. And the guys were wondering what we were doing all this for, and I explained to them that the little girl had cancer, and she'd been diagnosed. She's 14 years old. And her mother's only option was either to go to and from Iowa City with her every day to see her, or to bring her home. And we were able to help that mother bring her little girl home. And she died at home. But that was, you enter into people's lives. And I tell the crews, I say, when we get the application back in the mail, or somebody sends me one through email, it's an address. We go there and it's a house. But as soon as you open that front door, it's a home. It's not your home. It's not like your home. It's theirs. It's where they raise their family. It's sometimes where they're raising their grandchildren. It's their home. You respect it. You do not judge it. You help them out in any way you can. You do what is necessary to make their life better, because that's why they asked us to come there. And we, like I said, we will go and we inspect it to see what's needed and go through the house, and we have a 25-point checklist for the Safer Homes program, and we go through there and just list off and figure out what we can do and how we can change this to keep them safer, to make them safe in their own home. And that's what we do. Sometimes we have to put a roof on a house. We use contractors. We don't do roofs anymore. We'll hire contractors. Contractors are expensive. Sometimes we will need to put flooring down. We'll hire somebody to put the flooring down, because unless we have a volunteer that's qualified, it can get into a very expensive project too. But we replace kitchen cabinets. We replace showers. We'll take out bathtubs and put a walk-in shower in. We had a lady out in Stockton that the bathtub the faucets ran so much that she had to turn the water off to her whole house until if she went to wash her hands, she'd have to turn the water off, or turn the water back on, go wash her hands, and then turn it back off because the bathtub was leaking so bad. So we go in and of course we fix that problem right away, replace the bathtub and put a tub surround up for her, actually, and then replace the vanity faucets in the bathroom. And then the kitchen sink was really bad shape, so we replaced that and tore out the cabinets, replaced the kitchen cabinets, and insulated behind them because it was on a slab home, and just fixed it up just because she was, she lived with a widow lady by herself, and her stove, she had cats, and the cats had gotten on her stove, and they had buttons on the back, and they had turned one on and caught a towel on fire. Fortunately, she caught it. So then her son threw the stove away. Well, we went and got a new stove with the buttons on the front, electric stove, and put it in there for her. But we've replaced kitchen appliances, we've replaced refrigerators, of course kitchen sinks, faucets, bathroom vanities, toilets. We always put in a high-rise toilet. Bathtubs, we've either taken the tubs out and put walk-in showers, or we use a cutaway from Safeway steps that we can go into a fiberglass tub or a cast iron tub, and we cut out the side of it and put this apparatus in so that they can step in and step out. We had done that for a guy that he was standing there crying too, and I said, "Why are you crying?" And he said, "This is the first time that I can get in and out of the bathtub without worrying about falling down and having my sister come pick me up." Well, I've got 4 sisters, and I wouldn't want any one of them picking me up out of a bathtub. It would be really bad. But he was so amazed that this is the first time he could do it. But we put an apparatus in that they can open and close the door and sit down and take their bath. And it just changes their life. It's just such a simple thing with us. It's done in a few hours, takes a little bit, but it changes their life in such a way. We have done, since 2007, we have finished 120 projects. We've touched 120 families. I have 120 stories, because every family is unique. Every project is different. It's unique. It's what we do. I've been told that I'm a fool because I don't get paid. I don't get paid for these projects. And the deal is that the reason we do it, they ask me, "Why do you do this? Why do you want to do this?" And my answer is because it just needs done. Somebody needs to do this. Some organization, and Rebuilding Together is unique. Rebuilding Together steps into situations that nobody else is. We fill a niche in people's lives. I can tell you about a little girl down in Washington. We went down there because she was almost 3. She turned 3 before the project was finished. She was born with her quarter of a cup. Her stomach is the size of a quarter of a cup. She's tethered to an 8-foot line that goes to an IV that puts nourishment into her, and she would throw up. She would take nourishment and throw up. Well, the ladies that were her caregivers, 4 of them developed pneumonia. The only common denominator with these ladies was that baby. So we went in, removed the carpet, bleached the floor, put down underlayment, and then put down vinyl flooring that was padded. And she came in. She was at the hospital at Iowa City when we were doing it, and then she came in and said, "Oh, my new room." She was so sweet. But there's no other organization that would have done that. You can't tell me who could have done that for them for free. They couldn't afford to have somebody come in and do that. What we do costs the homeowners $0. We don't charge. We won't charge because we help people that have no one else to turn to. I've answered my phone before and someone says, "Is this Frank? Is this Rebuilding Together? Or Rebuilding Muscatine? Or Rebuilding America? Or Rebuilding Iowa? Or Rebuilding whatever?" And I say, "Yes, ma'am, this is Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County." And they'll start crying. And they say, "I was told if I could just get to you, that you would fix this." "Well, ma'am, what is it that you need fixed?" And they'll tell me what the problem is. And I say, "Well, everything with us starts with an application. Give me the application and we'll see what we can do. And we have helped people that no one else will help. They can't afford our services. And so we do what we do because it just needs done. Okay.